Welcome to my dark room. Today I'm going to demonstrate how the platinum palladium printing is done. I want to start off by giving a brief history about platinum palladium printing. Actually, it was one of the first printing process that was adopted by mankind and started in 1873. The print method was used until the early 1900s, to be exact, I think 1907, when the platinum became very expensive. And that's because most of the platinum was obtained from Russia, and Russia started using the platinum for the war purposes. So during that time, the printing switched to silver gelatin, and that lasted until very recently. But very recently, and when I mean by very recently, just about 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, the purists, the black and white purist photographers and printmakers started venturing into platinum photography. So today, I'll be demonstrating how this process is done. It's a chemical process, and in my opinion, it is the most precious black and white prints that we can make. Okay, so let me start off by demonstrating. Platinum palladium printing is a contact printing. And let me explain what I mean by contact printing. See, usually when we do photography with the film, the negatives are small. They're about 3.6 centimeters by 2.4 in a 35 millimeter camera. So if I wanted to make a contact print, a platinum print using that negative, our prints will not be more than 3.6 centimeters by 2.4 centimeters. And I don't think we want that. So in order to make a platinum palladium print, the negative has to be the same size as the print that we're trying to produce. And let me explain what I mean by that. Now, most of the prints that you see in my gallery are pretty large, as you can see. They are 16 by 15, and so this is a negative that I actually printed in my computer using the image. So that now if I made a platinum palladium printing, my print would be this big. Or let's say I want to make a smaller print. And this is a 8 by 10 print, which we're going to actually be making a print out of this. And my ultimate print that I'm going to be producing will be this size. Okay? So, I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to demonstrate how this is all done. Now, this is the paper I use to make the print on. Okay? This is called a Hahnemühle Platinum Photorag paper. This is a pure cotton paper, hand inspected, and it's a very high quality. Okay? So this paper is just cotton paper. It has no chemicals on it. Okay? So in order to make a print, I'll have to actually brush or incorporate the platinum onto the paper. And I'm going to demonstrate that, how we're going to do this. Okay? So I'm going to put the paper here, and this is a very precise chemistry involved in this. So in order to make an 8 by 10 print, I need 8 drops of platinum, and I need another chemical called the ferric oxalate, 8 drops. So I'm now going to measure 8 drops of each, and I'll show you how it's done. I'm using a dropper. Okay, and I take and I put exactly 8 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's 8 drops of ferric oxalate Then put this back here. Now we're going to use the platinum and palladium. So I have to put the equal number of platinum palladium drops. And there we go. As you can see, it's dark, extremely expensive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exactly. So, oh shoot, okay. So now, we close the so we have now a mixture of platinum, palladium, and the ferric oxalate. Now I'm going to use this brush to put my chemical or the platinum on the paper. I want to make sure it's not too wet. So test that. Okay, it's this. Okay, just enough here. Okay. Now I have to put the drops on my paper. So I'm going to put the drop on. I'm spreading the mixture. I want to use every drop because each drop is expensive. Okay, now I take my brush and I slowly brush my platinum palladium onto the paper. I want to make sure that I get a very smooth coat because this is the paper I'm going to be making my print. Okay, it has to be even. This takes a lot of practice. And I want to make sure clean strokes, side to side. Make sure I use every drop of the platinum palladium. Almost coated well. See, it's all smooth. Okay, now we have the paper, as you can see, coated with the platinum and palladium. Now this has to dry, so we're going to let this dry for about 30 seconds so that the platinum and palladium, they soak into the cotton paper. Okay, so it's drying, let about 20, 25, 30 seconds, and once it soaks in, I'm going to dry this with a hair dryer so that ultimately the paper that I'm going to be exposing, the platinum and palladium, is embedded into the cotton fibers of the paper. So there's actual platinum in the paper, evenly distributed, and we're going to be using this paper to expose our negative. Okay? Alright, so now I'm going to dry this using a hair dryer for 5 minutes. So that the platinum palladium is inside the fiber of the paper. As I said, I have been drying this for about 5 minutes now. I think the paper is completely dry. And as you can see, I have boiling water, because what we're going to do now is once we finish drying, we're going to actually steam As you can hear, we're going to steam the paper. You can see the steam coming up. I'm going to steam this so that the chemicals get activated again with the steam. See, the paper is curling. That means the steam, the water is soaking into the platinum and palladium. Okay, so I think, so you can see it's all curved. I think it's well steamed now. Okay, so we're going to put it down here. Now, just like I said, we're going to be printing this lovely Icelandic horse. Okay, so this is our negative, and I'm going to place this negative on what I call is the exposure unit. We expose it with the ultraviolet light, and this is the exposure unit. So what I'm doing is I'm going to place this negative on the glass plate. Okay, and I'm going to take the paper that I've coated the platinum, I'm going to put it right on top of that. Okay, right on top of that. Very carefully align it well. Okay. Good. Okay, so now I have my negative on the bottom, and I have the platinum coated paper right on top of it. And what's going to happen, I'm going to, the UV lights inside, you will see later, I'm going to turn the lights on, so the light will pass through my negative and it prints onto the platinum. Okay, so now once it's placed, now we have to make sure, because of contact printing, I want to make sure that these two are in really good contact. So this is a improvised home method. I'm just going to put this on the top. Okay, and then I'm going to place this just a little weight on the top so that they're all in good contact. Okay, so we have everything ready here, and we're going to cover this because the UV light is very harsh to the eye, so we want to make sure when we turn the exposure unit on, we don't want to be hurting our eyes. So I'm going to cover this puppy, the whole thing, making sure there's no exposure of the eye. And this is my control. I'm going to turn the power on. The power is on, and I'm going to expose this for 11 full minutes. Okay, so I have it on, and I'm going to turn it on now. On, and you can see the blue light. You can see the blue light coming there. Okay, and so this is going to cook for 11 minutes. In the last 11 minutes, the platinum paper has been exposed to the negative from the UV light coming from the top. So this is ready to be developed. Okay, now this is going to explain a little bit. So we're going to take this paper that's been exposed. I'm going to take it to the tray there, and I'm going to pour a developer, which is a potassium oxalate. And what potassium oxalate does is, in this paper, the platinum and palladium that has not been exposed to the UV light will all be washed off, and the only thing that remains in the paper is the platinum and palladium that shows the horse. Okay, so this is a magical moment. I want you all to pay good attention to this. So now I'm going to lift the paper on this side, the exposed side. So I'm going to place it on here. Okay, I want you to watch I'm going to pour the developer. Voila! There appears the horse. Look at that. So that is the horse that we just printed. So We're going to develop this for 2 minutes. It's a perfect picture, and as you can see, so it's a extremely complicated process. Every step has to be done correctly. The proportions, the number of drops, the brushing techniques, the exposure time, they all have to be perfect. One step that goes wrong will completely ruin the paper, the print. And also, which I forgot to tell in the beginning, this room, the temperature, the humidity has to be controlled. See, this is at 86 degrees humidity and the temperature is 61. If the humidity variation, especially if the humidity is not controlled, if it's dry, then it will completely affect the appearance of the image. So I keep the humidity between 80 to 86, which is very, very important. Okay? Now I think we have developed the picture as the camera person will show you. It's completely developed. Look at the horse. Okay, it's beautiful. And now what we have to do is to take and clean. It goes through a very extensive clearing process through all these trays. It's another 25 to 30 minutes of clearing the chemicals that have not been exposed through series of washings and clearings. And then once we finish all the clearing, then the final wash is going to be for another 20 to 25 minutes in water, so that, and the final product will be dry, air dried, overnight, and then the print will be ready tomorrow. So as you can see, each print is individually made. So I'm going to place this print here in the water, and I'm going to pour some hot steaming water on that to wash off all the chemicals that have not been actually developed. Okay, so that's washed, and I'm going to clean this, and I'm going to run through all the clearing agents and then dry it overnight. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the demonstration, and you will get to see my photographs in my gallery. If you're not actually here watching the video in the gallery, you will see my printed photographs in my gallery, and you're welcome. Bye-bye.